Hi, everybody. We'll continue the discussion of colloids. ഇതിൽ പറഞ്ഞത് colloids എന്താണെന്നും what are the different classes of colloids. We classified the colloids on the basis of the physical state of dispersive phase and dispersion medium. Then after we classified based on the interaction between dispersive phase and dispersion medium. And there we had lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Then we classified into multi-layer colloids, macromolecular colloids, as well as associated colloids, the micelle formation. This was the discussion on the previous class. Now we will continue the discussion of purification of colloids. While we are discussing the topic purification of colloids, it is better you just remember the way how the colloids are generated or formed. Usually the colloids are generated by adding some electrolytes to the solution. For example, suppose you want to prepare a colloid of silver iodide. What they will do is they will add some electrolytes like silver nitrate and potassium iodide. So always what happens is in solution after the formation, silver nitrate will combine with the potassium iodide to form silver iodide. There will be some excess of electrolytes after the formation. Electrolytes is nothing other than anything which forms ions in solution. So in solution, after the formation of the colloids, there will be some excess of electrolytes. And if these electrolytes remains in that colloidal solution itself, that may cause us the destruction of the colloidal formation. So we have to remove that excess of electrolyte. That's why we are going for what is called purification of colloids. So if you remember that point, we are trying to remove that excess of electrolyte. The discussion of purification of colloids become much more easier. And there are three common methods used for the purification of colloids. The first one is dialysis, second one electrodialysis, and the third one is ultrafiltration. So we'll start with the dialysis. The process of separating the particles of colloid from those of the crystalloid by means of diffusion through a suitable membrane. Its principle is that colloidal particle cannot pass through the cellophane membrane while the ions of the electrolyte can pass through it. While you are doing the process of dialysis, what they will do is, this is the colloidal solution taken, what is called in a membrane, and the membrane is made up of cellophane. Cellophane you are familiar. So what happens, the pore size of this cellophane is actually it is enough to pass the electrolyte. Actually, electrolyte, you have to remember, they are having very small size, less than 1 nanometer, so they can pass through the membrane very easily to here you have water to the water. While the colloidal solution is much more bigger than the colloidal particles are much more bigger than what is called the electrolyte, because the electrolytes are having size less than 1 nanometer, but colloids are having greater than 1 nanometer. So what happens, colloidal particles will retain here while the other particles will, the electrolyte can pass very easily or diffuse easily to the water. So what happens, the impurity slowly diffuse out of the bag, leaving behind pure colloidal solution. The distilled water is changed frequently to avoid accumulation of the crystalloid, otherwise there will be starting diffusing back to the bag. Okay, so this is what is called start dialysis, then this is after dialysis. See, now we'll discuss the process of electrodialysis. Okay, the process of dialysis is very slow. So what is happening, the ions are diffusing through the cellophane membrane. So you think, if you place some electrodes, here you have electrode and here also they place electrodes. If you place electrodes, what happens? The movement of the ions through the membrane become much more faster. And that process is known as electrodialysis. Clear? Now, there is a very common application of dialysis, all you know. the artificial kidney machine make use of the principle of electrodialysis. For the biologist students, it is much more easier. Now you have the process called ultrafiltration. So if you are familiar with the filter paper which we use in our chemistry lab, and if you've taken the ordinary filter paper, the pore size is very large. And since the pore size is very large, what happens? The colloidal particle also can pass through the ordinary filter paper, the pores of ordinary filter paper. So what they will do is they will take a solution called colloidon. Colloidon is a substance, and they will paste the colloidon over the filter paper so that the pore size get reduced. And such a filter paper is known as ultrafilter paper. And the centrifugation or the filtration, not centrifugation, filtration using that filter paper is known as ultrafilter paper. And usually what they will do is the process is slow, so they will apply a high pressure through the semi-permeable membrane, and in which the colloids are retained while a small size solute and the solvent are forced to move across the membrane by hydrostatic pressure. This is called ultrafiltration. And the ultrafiltration is a vital process that takes place in the kidneys. Now that's all about the discussion of purification of colloids. Now we'll move to properties of colloids. And we are very familiar with the terms properties of colloids. First we'll discuss about the optical properties of colloids. And one of the optical properties is called Tyndall effect. Actually, Tyndall effect is very familiar for us. നമ്മളിപ്പം സിനിമ ഹാളിലൊക്കെ പോയിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ പ്രൊജക്ടറിൽ നിന്ന് സ്ക്രീനിലോട്ട് ഒരു ലൈറ്റ് ഇങ്ങനെ പാസ് ചെയ്ത് വരും. ആ ലൈറ്റ് ഇത് പാസ് ചെയ്ത് വരുന്ന പാത്ത് ഇലുമിനേറ്റഡ് ആയിരിക്കും. ദിസ് ഈസ് എ വെരി ഗുഡ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഫോർ Tyndall effect. And actually what's the reason for that? നമ്മൾ ആ ലൈറ്റ് പാസ് ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ എയറിൽ dust particles ഉണ്ട്. And dust, remember, is a colloidal system. And this dust will scatter the light. Light scattering, and that's the reason for what is so you are seeing an illumination. This is a very good example for Tyndall effect. If you have a colloidal solution, and through the colloidal solution, if you pass a beam of light, and what happened? The beam of light will get scattered inside, and it will get illuminated. The path will get illuminated with a bluish light, and this phenomenon is called a Tyndall effect. And the reason for Tyndall effect is due to scattering of light by colloidal particles. See, the Tyndall effect cannot be exhibited by true solution because the particle size is very small. There's a criterion actually for the Tyndall effect to occur. The wavelength of the light and the diameter of the particle should match. If both of them become equal, then only the Tyndall effect will occur. So in true solution, the size of the particle is too small compared to the wavelength of the light. So the true solution cannot exhibit Tyndall effect. Now, based on the principle of Tyndall effect, a scientist called Zygmundi, Z-I-G-M-O-N-D-Y, Zygmundi, developed an instrument called ultra microscope. And through this ultra microscope, what we can do is we can identify the colloidal particles. So it's a very good method to identify the colloidal particle by using the phenomenon of Tyndall effect. And the instrument developed is called ultra microscope. So we'll move to the next one, mechanical properties of colloids. And one example is Brownian moment or Brownian motion. What happens is, you can see there are colloidal particles, and these colloidal particles, so here you have colloidal particle, they start moving in a zigzag manner. So this zigzag movement of colloidal particle is known as Brownian motion. And why there is that kind of zigzag moment? Because the particles, whenever they are coming closer, there will be an uneven bombardment. They will collide each other. If the collision is even, what happen? They will return back. Okay, വന്ന് ഇടിക്കുന്നത് ഒരേപോലെ തന്നെ ഈക്വൽ ആണ് ഇടിക്കുന്ന കൊളീഷനെങ്കിൽ ഇടിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ വന്ന വഴി തിരിച്ചു പോകും. പക്ഷെ ഈ ഇടി അൺഈക്വൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ വന്ന പാത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ആള് വേറെ പാത്തിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചു പോകും, ഡൈവേർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പോകും. അവിടെ ചെന്ന് പിന്നെയും ഒരു അൺഈവൻ കൊളീഷൻ കിട്ടുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, പിന്നെയും വന്ന പാത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ഡൈവേർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പോകും. അങ്ങനെ കുറേയധികം അൺഈവൻ കൊളീഷൻസ് കിട്ടുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ നെറ്റ് റിസൾട്ട് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു സിഗ്സാഗ് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ദിസ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് കോൾഡ് Brownian motion. Next we have to discuss is electrical properties. I will continue with that discussion.